What's up guys, and welcome back to Pop Beat Breakdowns. In today's video we're going to be breaking down a beat that I recently made in the style of Ed Sheeran's new single Boat. This is a very simple production, but if you're watching this video you are curious about how you can make a similar beat for yourself. So I'm going to be breaking down the beat and what different little textures and instrumentation I added in order to arrive at the sound that's similar to the song. And if this sort of content is music to your ears, no pun intended, then smash that subscribe button right now, as it's the best way to support the channel and the best way to make sure you never miss one of these videos when they drop in the future. So with that mandatory out the way, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into logic and let's break down this Ed Sheeran Boat type beat. Okay, so this is the beat that we're breaking down today. We can break this down into 3 different categories. Again, it's a very simple production today. This is in the acoustic pop, you could even say ballad type of genre. So we got the guitar, we have the piano, and we have the strings element. Now, as a quick disclaimer, even though we're in Logic today, I don't think there is a lot, if any, in fact, Logic stock instruments in this, but you can still achieve the same sound with the Logic versions, for say, of the piano and the studio strings for this. But for today's video, you're going to see more of the writing and laying down different production ideas. So today we've actually got live acoustic guitar that I've recorded in because I thought this would be a lot more authentic for the song. This acoustic guitar was recorded in with my Shure SM7B microphone that you're actually listening to now. Didn't think that would actually come out how it did, but it sounds pretty decent. It's got a really nice mid-warm tone to it, as did the Ed Sheeran song. This is a ballad at the end of the day, so we wanted it to sound warm and mellow. So this is the acoustic guitar recorded in. So for processing for this today, we have a little bit of light compression just to try and reduce the dynamic range on the compressor. We have a channel EQ just with a little bit of a lift in the high end, had a little bit of brightness to acoustic guitar, and there's this really nice little bright snap I was getting from this 1400 Hertz. So I did that in as well. Then I was a little bit distracted with the reverb. I normally put my reverbs on the channel, but I thought, hey, I want this to be like a live recording. So I actually almost theoretically put the guitar straight into the room, rather than gently feeding in the bus. So we've got the reverb straight onto the main channel today. This is the chroma verb, and we've got just the room, because I wanted it to have almost like a room sound, almost that what you try to cut out normally in a mix, the background. I wanted that in for this kind of song because it makes it sound a little bit more intimate, I've always thought. So next thing that I've also added as well is just a little gem. This is called the mix centric. I always like to add this, never more than this much. It just adds a nice clarity and brightness to anything I put it on. It's just one of them go-to one knob things, preset things, but it just does a great job. So that's how it is. And then as for the second guitar, we do have a second one. I do like to layer elements, especially when it comes to guitar. If you watched any of my previous pop beat breakdown videos, you know I like to stack ideas, melodies on top of each other to create one overall sound. So I added some picked acoustic in, which again recorded in live. Very ballady, singer-songwritery. So when you incorporate it with the guitar, so the only thing that I've really done, because I put this into one bus, they're all mixed together, is I've sample delayed the picked acoustic guitar slightly to the left, so it's more out the right ear, and then the strummed acoustic has the sample delay out the left ear, so we're getting a really nice stereo spread of both the strummed and picked, but there's a slight bias in either ear, so they're spread out, and it creates a little bit less clutter in the middle of the mix, because you've got to remember there'll be a vocal in the future that will be recorded over this, so they need that space to record. Now the next thing we move on to is the piano, because the piano is very subtle throughout the Ed Sheeran Boat song. I would even argue that you can't even really hear it unless you're looking for it, but it's just a really nice sort of almost adding not only the bass, but adding just that little bit of warmth and that little bit of like a stamp of the chords, especially in the chorus. So today, for the piano, we are using, you probably guessed it if you're a subscriber, we're using the Native Instruments one. Today we're actually using the Maverick, because I thought I would mix it up today, because this is a little bit more of a muddy piano, which I think is better suited for that live acoustic feel. This is what it sounds like. And as you can hear, it's very simple. One thing I love to do is I like to put the bass notes of the piano on a separate track, because then you can mix them separately and have a really nice low end to a piano. Just have a quick listen to this. So if I play the piano chords by itself, this is very MIDI, because you've got using 2 hands for the piano right in the middle of the piano. So you get this sound, but it lacks that low end. So when you add the bass note in, all of a sudden it has that real nice stamp to it. So when you incorporate this in with the acoustic guitar, we're really starting to get like a nice, you could almost say like chorus for just your simple acoustic ballad. And again, I wanted to keep it simple because this is a simple song. You don't want to overcomplicate it because the vocal will be the main feature here because it's very sad and it's very storytelling from the vocal point of view. So you almost like, you don't want to distract the vocal performance by adding too much to the production. And that's what makes these sorts of songs, especially by Ed Sheeran in this case, work really well. Now the last thing I added is strings. Now there's 4 different string layers to this. You may have seen in previous videos as well. I have a rule of 4 when it comes to applying strings. We have the root, we have the body, the melody, and the development. So the root is basically we're playing the bass notes or whatever the bass would be playing. So this is the cello in this case. Have a listen to that. And then we have another section which comes in the second chorus to add a little bit of development to the song. This is playing the main bulk chords of the song. And on top of that, to create some movement in the strings to make it sound more interesting, we've added a just very simple melody in as well, which you'll hear now come in. And then lastly, we added what I call the development. So this is like the more higher parts of the strings, and it really like comes into zone. It gives a really nice lift, especially to final choruses. So have a listen to this section here. And it just sounds great. If you're wondering what the strings are, by the way, because I should have said before I started showing you from, we got Omnisphere. We're using the Hollywood strings just because this is a really nice preset in Omnisphere that I like to use. There you go, the Hollywood Studio string section. The only thing, if you have Omnisphere, is I do like to turn the attack all the way down because for some reason, when you have sometimes on strings, you've got to be very careful where you put in the attack because it can make it sound unnatural. On the Hollywood strings, these ones, for some reason, when you turn the attack all the way up, so it's a really quick attack, it sounds better when there's not so much attack. So yeah, that's all together. And this is basically the production altogether. It's very simple. I've broken it down a little bit, so there's a little bit of development, so there's ideas always been added. That's always very key, especially when something's very simple. But when you put it all together, this is the Ed Sheeran boat type beat that I've made. I'm now going to play it from a suitable point so you can listen to it for yourselves. So there you go, guys. If you made it in this video, thank you so much, and smash the subscribe button right now if you have not already, as it is the best way to support the channel. And also comment below any other requests for artist stylistic choices or type beats of different songs that are already released that you want me to do in future videos. I'll be happy to act upon requests. So yeah, guys, keep making music, and I will see you in the next video.